got Laura Marling with us here on WFPK. She's playing tonight for WFPK's Waterfront Wednesday. She'll be taking the stage around 7:30 p.m. Her new release is called Once I Was an Eagle, and it's a great record. And so thrilled to have you here, Laura. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, my pleasure.
We've been playing several songs off Once I Was an Eagle, and we played all of your albums in the past so far. So I guess I've noticed on this album a little bit more rockin' than the past records.
Yeah.
Definitely got some more energy to it.
Yes, but which is funny because I did it without a band this time. So that's all. That's all Ethan, my producer, rocking it.
Who's playing all the instruments then? In that case, I mean.
Well, I suppose I can take a little credit for the rockiness of it because I played the electric guitar and the acoustic, but Ethan Johns, who produced the record, played everything else.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did that feel to do an album without a band?
It was actually quite liberating. It's a very different thing from playing with a band, which is very exciting, recording in a room with live instruments and a drum kit and all that. But it allowed us the opportunity to sort of observe what we were doing as we were doing it, because we overdubbed everything. We put everything on top of my voice and my guitar. Mm-hmm. So that was quite interesting. It was like painting a picture. And
you couldn't really get into personality conflicts with anybody.
No egos. So good.
Did you record in the States or in England or?
I did it in England, yeah.
But you've made a move over to California now.
I have, yeah. I live in California.
How's that going?
It's chilled out. I like it. Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, I'm barely ever there because of the touring. But it's a nice place to be when you haven't got anywhere else to be.
Very different than London.
Very different from London. Yes.
Just different vibe, different weather, of course.
Yes, yeah. It's an extremely different lifestyle. London is very up and close and in your face, and where I live in California is like that to some extent. But there's more of an opportunity to breathe out, I'd say. And I do miss London. I love it very much. It will always be my home, but I very much like where I am now too.
What was behind the move? What made you decide to make that?
I've had sort of itchy feet anyway, because I haven't really lived anywhere for 4 years because of touring, and I wanted a bit of space, literal space, and that's hard to come by in London. And I also had the opportunity to do it, which not many people get, which I'm very grateful for. And so I thought I'd do it while I can, while I have the energy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You talk about how you tour all the time, so you having that space is important to you. But you've been touring for a good part of your life. You started into the music business pretty young. Yeah,
well, I started touring when I was 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I mean, were you able to even play in some of the venues that you wanted to play in because of being maybe underage? Or?
Well, there was a couple where I had to tell a few fibs, and that was fine, and I managed to get in and get out. Yeah. I was pretty well behaved, so I didn't cause too much of a stir. And there were a couple of shows that I turned up at that I was turned away from.
Oh my gosh!
So, yeah, thankfully, even in that only ended in America 2 years ago because of the 21 thing. Yeah. So that was fun.
What would you do when you were turned away from a show?
I think being turned away from a show that I was actually supposed to play only happened once or twice, and one time it was actually the launch of my first EP. And it was a month before my 18th birthday, which is a shame. So we ended up playing on the street in Soho, central London, which is definitely not where a 17-year-old should be late at night. So, yeah, we came up with solutions.
Yeah. Now, both of at least your dad is pretty steeped in music, too.
Yeah.
What's been his involvement?
Well, he used to run a recording studio back when people ran recording studios, and he played the guitar and he wrote songs and he taught me the guitar, so he's had quite the effect on me. Mm-hmm.
How old were you when you picked up the guitar?
I remember it very clearly. It was on my 5th birthday that I got given a little Spanish guitar, which I still have.
Was that something you had requested or something your dad just sort of handed to you? Or?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I requested it, but I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah. Would he have like a bunch of different musicians in the studio all the time? Like you be in that environment?
Well, the studio shut down when I was very, very young.
Oh.
But I did grow up around a lot of music and a lot of musicians.
Yeah. So I'm assuming they were probably pretty supportive.
Yes.
Of you going into music? And
yes, I mean, they are human beings and parents, so they did have their reservations. But it wasn't so much for shock to them that I ended up doing it. But they were nervous for a little while. Mm-hmm. They probably still are a little bit.
And probably always will be.
Yeah.
Well, we have Laura Marling with us here on WFPK. Her new album's called Once I Was an Eagle, and she's going to be performing tonight for WFPK's Waterfront Wednesday. Justin Lewis opens the show at 6, followed by Laura Marling at 7:30. Sons of Fathers will be taking the stage at 9, and they'll be dropping by in the 4 o'clock hour. So Laura was going to do the song from the album Once I Was an Eagle, the song Once.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear it.
In the land I now know to be man, with a heart so dark it's near blind. When I think about the life I left behind, I still raise no praise to the sky. With my eyes on the prize of your bed, when all that's needed sin has been said. When I think about the life that I have led, I lay down to the sound of the wine. Once is enough to break you. Once is enough to make you think twice about laying your love out on the line. With all I now know to be true, and all I figured out about you, all the crazy things a man can do, I lay down to the sound of the truth. Once is enough to break you. Once is enough to make you think twice about laying your little love out on the line. Oh, I was a child once. I was happy young when all I didn't know needed doing had been done.
That's beautiful. I love that song. It's called Once, and it's from Laura Marling's new album, Once I Was an Eagle. But you just heard it live on WFPK. She's in our studio, and she's playing tonight for WFPK's Waterfront Wednesday, which gets started at 6 o'clock with Justin Lewis, followed by Laura Marling at 7:30, Sons of Fathers at 9. Find out more at WFPK.org. I understand, Laura, before you recorded this album, or I guess maybe as you were writing the songs, you were kind of, you had steeped yourself into the music of 1969. I
had, yes.
In particular.
Yes.
How come that year, and what artist?
Well, it was just coincidence that somebody gave me 2 records, and they were both from '69, and they were both records I had records and artists I had never heard of before.
Who are they?
There was Jim Sullivan, who released one album called UFO in 1969 and then disappeared off the face of the earth. And then there was a guy called Jim... Oh my goodness. I've had a mind blank. Jim...
Not Croce.
He's gone.
Not Jim Croce.
No,
Okay.
no. Jim Sullivan. Oh, Jim Ford.
Huh.
And he did like this amazing, weird sort of folk funk album called Harlem County. And that started... I had an average record collection anyway, but I started... It's a really good way of killing time on tour. Louisville has particularly good record shops, actually. Killed rather a lot of time here. Of just going into record shops and picking up records and seeing what year it was released. And then I just bought all the ones I found from 69 or 68 or 70, assuming that they would have had something to do in 69.
Yeah.
And I found all kinds of amazing gems. Some were really obvious, like The Band, and there was a Nancy Sinatra and Lee Hazelwood record that came out that year that was amazing.
Awesome.
There's all kind. I mean, there's so. It just seemed to be a really exciting time for music. It became really clear when I started building that collection that something funky was going on.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
and lots of incorporating lots of different instruments at the time too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess there was a freedom. There was a kind of boom then around the music industry that meant that people could do more experimenting with. There's a Captain Beefheart record, Safe as Milk, that came out that year. That is the weirdest sounding, like you could... It's almost sad to say a record like that couldn't come out now, really. I mean, it could, but it wouldn't have the regard that it did, that it deserves in a way.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. It gives me... and it also sort of helped give me faith that there's so the amount of stuff I don't know is infinite, and the fact that 1969 is just 1 year.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
1 year of many
Yeah.
to look back through. I understand too that you're a fan of Will Oldham.
I am. I'm a huge fan.
That's cool. He's from here.
Yes, I know that.
Oh, yeah. So he's around. We see him around town all the time. He hangs out,
cool.
and it's been by the station many times. And I just thought that was neat. When did you first hear him, and how?
Well, he has a particular place in my heart because my first record I recorded, Charlie Fink from Noah and the Whale produced it, and I was singing in his band Noah and the Whale, and he gave me To See a Darkness, I See a Darkness, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave me that when I must have been 17 or something, and it completely changed my... the sort of the darkness of that record kind of changed my perspective.
Really?
Yeah, it really had an effect on me, like music does when you're that age.
From what to what?
Well, it gave me it gave me an understanding of a different purpose for being an artist. Or I didn't consider myself an artist then. I wasn't self-aware enough. I'm not even sure I do now, but. It made me think. It definitely changed everything that I had written up until that point, and the kind of brutal honesty of his record. Well, all the Bonnie Prince Billy records and Palace Brothers and all that.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of the vulnerability. Not vulnerability is not the right word, but the closeness of it. I don't know how to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
It changed my. Made me realise I didn't have to be. You could be as weird as you want, and as weird as what is truthful to who you are.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like it expanded sort of your parameters, made you think like way outside of your own
totally
limits, and
totally.
Yeah.
And under I was a young thing then. That was under the, Charlie helped shape that for me, and thank God he was at the reins of my first record, really, because it changed my. Well, it's just sort of opened me up to a whole new way of looking at music and making music, and so yeah, I was lucky.
Mm-hmm. Well, whatever it is you're doing now, people love it.
Oh, good.
Just love it, and can't wait to hear you tonight, and can't wait to hear another song. You're going to do one from A Creature I Don't Know, I believe.
Yes, A song called Sophia.
Wonderful. This is Laura Marling live on FPK.
Oh, I have been wondering where I have been pondering where I've been lately is no concern of yours. Who's been touching my skin? Who have I been letting shy and tired-eyed am I today? No concern of yours. Who's been touching my skin? Who have I been letting shy and tired-eyed am I today? Sometimes I sit, sometimes I stand. Sometimes I look and sometimes I don't care. Rarely I weep, but sometimes I must. I'm wounded by dust. When the bell gone chime, you better call for your woman up high. And when the bell tolls your last day, you'll be getting down on your knees to pray. I'm a good woman, so I never did say ever it was that you did that day. I'm not a woman to go and place blame, but you said that it was coming on Judgment Day. And now so dust. And now so
Wonderful. Sophia from Laura Marling on WFPK Radio Louisville, and that's from her album A Creature I Don't Know. She's playing this gorgeous Guild guitar. It sounds so good. Is that your regular guitar, like you take everywhere with you kind of thing? Or
This is actually a new one, and I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. Well, Laura Marling, what a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you, my pleasure.
And we look forward to seeing you tonight.
Great.
She will be taking the stage at 7:30 for WFPK's Waterfront Wednesday. This is 91.9 WFPK Louisville, a member-supported Louisville Public Media station.